Welcome to In Focus. I'm your host, Thuy Phan. Human trafficking is not a joke. It is something that is pervasive and prevalent in every country around the world, and even here in the U.S., it is happening. Now, human trafficking can come in many different forms, and one of them that isn't talked about often is labor trafficking. In this segment, we're going to meet a survivor who at the age of 8 was sold as a slave in Egypt. Join us as we find out more about her story and how she was able to move on. On a Sunday afternoon in an upstairs room at a restaurant in Laguna Beach, 19-year-old SHYIMA Hall recounted her time as a slave. Looking at her, you could never tell that at the age of 8, she was sold into a life of servitude in her native Egypt.
I got put in a people's house because of my sister. She took money from the people that she used to work for as a slave also. So it's something common there for them to do. Even there's a law, you only, I believe, 11 or 12, you cannot be working for anybody. And then from there, you can go into slavery. But I started when I was 8 years old because of my sister stole money from the people she used to work for. And they told my parents, for us not to let your daughter to go to jail, we're gonna take a smaller child. And I was first in line to go. I stayed with them a year in Egypt, in Alexandria. And from there, my life starts actually different. That's how old I was, 8 years old and a half, kind of a thing, when I first started coming to the United States. They took me, get my pictures for my passport to visa, and I came in an airport with Ayman, he is the guy that played as a role in the airport as my father, because they don't get questioned why is a child coming with a different guy to the USA and what's going on here. From on there, I actually stayed in one place for 11 months or 22 months into a gated community where not much police officer gets in there. There's a security guard. You have to have a code to get in there. There's a totally different life there. So you can see why other people really won't look around because they're in their own little bubble. My role there was to take care of 2 boys. That was, they're twins. They were actually almost kind of my age, a little bit younger than me, and to clean the bathrooms. That's what I got told to come in here and to do for them. But from there on, I actually got to take the boys everywhere and take care of them and what they need in life, and clean their clothes, get them to the pool, the park, like you've seen, and take care of them. But instead, I actually got to do all that and clean this whole big house from inside and out, do everything, and to not allowed outside, did not speak English at all, and didn't have any communication with anybody. It's another side of the house. And their cars. I mean, they lived a normal life and they had their own life, just like anybody, any of you guys here. You wake up, you take your shower, you get ready, you go to work. If you have kids, you get them ready for school, or you go in there and tell them, wake up, it's time to go to school. They had their life like that, but instead of all that, actually, I kind of wake their kids, I take care of their kids. They had kids that knew that I was there to do everything for them. They had 3 girls, 2 boys, and my job was to take care of everything for them. It's another part of the house where I cleaned and had to maintain very clean because we're type of people that like to keep things way they should be looked. The kitchen, where I stayed my rest of my day there, cooking, getting lunches ready, whatever needs to be get done. This is the family room right here, where all the family watched TV, sat down and had their family times like everybody else does. There's the boys, the twins' room. They're little. It actually changed a little more. The mom's, the dad's room. The room was the master room. It had the 2 bathrooms in it, the bathtub, everything in it, you know. The family's pictures. When I got taken away finally from them and rescued by a mystery caller, they said, she's one of our family. We treat her the same way, never put our hands on her. Everybody got to do equal in this house, you know. We gave her everything she wanted. My point for the picture is, this is their family pictures, and that's the family. I wasn't part of it. They just had, to me, they had no right to call me one of the family, because I never was. I never felt like it either. This is the garage. And I had a big garage of like a 3 garage door, you know, and it had a room in it. And this is the room. It's a messy room, but it was my room in a garage. I had a bed in there and my suitcase that I came with it, and my clothes stayed there until I left. I never had any drawers put my clothes or anything else, but I had my little stand and the little pillows right there. It had no light in it. It had no windows in it, no air conditioners, nothing. And there's my bed with a blanket and a little sheets to put on my bed. And I wash my clothes in a little bucket with soap that you wash your dishes with, because when I first came there, I didn't think it's gonna be so different. I thought I can wash my clothes in a washer machine. First time I put it there, she took it out and threw it away and said that my clothes is more dirtier than theirs, and I have no right to do so, to wash it there. So I had to wash my clothes by hand. Never got called with my name. I never got, it was their favorite words, "You're nothing, why are you even looking at me?" You know, just, you're just a worker, slave, all kind of.
This was a memory that has stayed with Hall and is a clear example of the psychological abuse that the Nasser family has inflicted upon her.
One of the aspects of demand that we don't always think about is the fact that people want free labor. They want someone to do their yard work for them, to clean their house, to work in a restaurant, so that they can have the very, very cheapest expenses. And as long as they can find someone that they won't have to pay, they'll be able to get what they want and make money from it. We've seen many, many cases of domestic servitude in Orange County. Women and men who are in a home, a private home, they never get to leave. They do the cleaning, they do the cooking, or they do the yard work, and they are literally a household slave. And that happens right here in Orange County. We've also seen victims here in Orange County that are being forced to clean in hotels, or forced to do dishes in a restaurant, or they're in debt servitude and they're working in a construction site where they're not really getting paid, but they come with a crew, and they're invisible, and they don't ask for help because they're afraid. Fear is their prison.
The hard thing to fathom, though, is that her own family supported the perpetrators. This document you see here is a notarized form her parents signed agreeing to sell her as a slave.
I will be given to the Nasser's family, which is the family that I was with for so long, to stay with them, sold to them for some odd money in Egypt, but in the USA it's actually $30. And my parents signed it, and they agreed on it. And that's what they presented in the court, that they had every right to have me, have every right to, that I was there. And, but what they didn't know really, that as the lawyers and the ICE agents did our homework to get them what they did to me. They had a video, which we don't have here with us today, a party of the girls. One of the girls had a party for her birthday, and I was in it, cleaning and doing my job, what I was supposed to do, and not part of the family. And we presented it, and they ended up pleading guilty. And they said, yes, we agree, we did it. We don't want to go to trials, and we'll give her money to an end of story. They didn't think they're gonna go to jail as much as they did. She went for 22 months, the mom, as long as I stayed with them. And the father had 3 years. He actually just got out June. He got sent to Egypt. And they paid me money, but in the court they said that if I would have came up to them and told them that I was did not want to be there and did want to go back to my family, they would have done it exactly. But the thing is, I never actually talked to my family in Egypt. I talked to them maybe, I want to say, twice or 3 times. Never had anything really to do with them. Never had the right to even talk really in front of them, but to do what I was there to do. So I didn't see how I was supposed to do that with all the abuse they did to me. And one of my favorite was the mom said in court that how could you even have this court date on such a holy day, which is their Muslim, and it was Eid for them. And they said we should have been with our family, not here pleading such a thing. And she already lost 2 of her girls because they got sent to Egypt because they weren't legal in the United States. And she was really upset and disappointed that this is happening right now.
Coming up after the break, more on this real-life tale of modern-day slavery. You won't want to miss it. Stay with us.
SBTN là đài truyền hình Việt ngữ đầu tiên phát hình 24 giờ qua hệ thống DirecTV và cable trên toàn cõi Hoa Kỳ và Canada. SBTN phục vụ khán giả hàng ngày với lượng tin tức cập nhật sáng, trưa, chiều, tối, dồi dào, đáng tin cậy, cùng hàng loạt tin tức địa phương từ Little Saigon, San Jose, Dallas, Houston đến Washington DC, Boston, Toronto và Việt Nam. Phim bộ hấp dẫn lôi cuốn, cải lương đặc sắc, tâm tình nghệ sĩ thú vị, vui tươi, nhạc yêu cầu thắm thiết chân tình, thể thao văn nghệ đời sống sống động hào hứng, Victoria Show với thế giới điện ảnh kỳ thú mới lạ. SBTN luôn đồng hành với khán giả qua các diễn đàn và những phiên phóng sự nóng bỏng, ghi nhận các sinh hoạt văn hóa, giáo dục, chính trị, xã hội của người Việt khắp nơi trên thế giới và tại quê nhà, cùng với những nhận định thực tế, sắc bén của các thức giả đương đại. SBTN đáp ứng nhu cầu của mọi giới, mọi lứa tuổi qua các chương trình tìm hiểu luật pháp, di trú tị nạn, sức khỏe và đời sống, thể dục dưỡng sinh, em học tiếng Việt, lịch sử Việt Nam, hàng loạt chương trình giải trí phong phú lành mạnh như Người mẫu Việt Nam, Hành trình xuyên Việt, sân khấu cuối tuần, cùng với các cuộc thi thố tài năng hào hứng sôi nổi qua các show Đố Ai, giải sáng tác hay nhất, giải những thước phim vàng sẽ lần lượt khởi chiếu trên SBTN. Mọi chi tiết về chương trình, ghi danh quảng cáo bảo trợ xin vào website www.sbtn.tv. SBTN hân hạnh giới thiệu DVD Người mẫu Việt Nam với cuộc thi tài sắc đầy hào hứng của 20 cô gái Việt trẻ đẹp, duyên dáng cùng chương trình ca nhạc đặc sắc với sự góp mặt của các tiếng hát trẻ trung được ái mộ nhất hiện nay: Thiên Kim, Lâm Nhật Tiến, Quốc Khanh, Đoàn Phi, Nguyễn Hồng Nhung, Christine Sa, Như Quỳnh, Đan Nguyên. 20 kiều nữ Việt, 20 niềm hy vọng, nhưng chỉ có duy nhất một danh hiệu Top Model, nên họ đã trải qua nhiều thử thách gay go, sôi nổi, phô trừ những nét tuyệt mỹ và tài năng, đặc biệt nhất qua các chương trình biểu diễn thời trang và phong cách.
We're lining up to go out on the runway, and then we heard this boom.
It's actually my mom's idea. She knew that this was a passion of mine since I was very young.
Kính thưa quý vị, người đã thắng giải Top Model năm 2008 là thí sinh.
Ai là Top Model 2008? Hãy mua DVD Người mẫu Việt Nam do Trung tâm Asia phát hành ngày 31 tháng 12 năm 2008.
Welcome back to In Focus. I'm your host, Phan. Before the break, we got a chance to meet SHYIMA, a 19-year-old survivor of human trafficking. In this segment, we'll hear more about what happened and where she is today.
I wasn't planning on speaking in court, and I got up and I wrote a few notes down about what her lawyer was saying. My first thing wasn't to show them that I'm a better place now. It would happen like, what, 4 years later, the court came and finally came together in 2007. The first thing to stand, to just let them know I'm in a better place now. I don't need a translator than what you had. You had all this money and you never took care of yourself. But you know what, I've been to a better home. I know how to communicate with people. I'm in high school. I was in high school. I had a lot of things going on in my life that I didn't have with you. There's the difference. And how could really they say we miss our family when they only got taken away not long actually before the court, and I never seen my family for 7 years in Egypt. And you're standing here to tell me that we have no right to be in this courtroom on such a holy day. It was just not, that's the part that really made me more mad and wanted me to go stand up there and tell them, you know what? No. So my case ended in a good terms because they end up going to jail. I end up having a better life just because one person opened their eyes and saw that such a thing, this shouldn't be happening. You know, seeing that there's a girl in a house that shouldn't be there and saying, you know what, maybe even if I'm wrong, I'm still gonna call and see what they can do. And actually they received the call, and 3 days later they responded to it because they had somebody watch the house. They had people seeing what's going on, and then they finally went into the house and they took me right away. And that's how I got put in foster care. You know, a victim may not know that they're a victim, honestly. I didn't think when I was with them, it was wrong. I didn't think what they were doing was something that they should have not done. Because I came from Egypt and that's what they did. And I brought here, it seemed like it was okay because I stayed them with so long and nothing ever happened and they were comfortable people and were okay. But victims just need to, they're scared. They're not gonna tell somebody, hey, I'm right here, please help me. You need to see what's around you to, I mean, I'm not telling you to be noisy people, but it's like knowing that, okay, there's a family, but there's something odd right there. You know when there's something odd. Don't be scared, just call and you know, they may tell you, you know what, she was a family, she's visiting, she's a little nervous, but she's okay. But you know what, you took your chances because you might just saved somebody's life. Because that person could just do, my situation, I really didn't get abused as beat up, but in any emotional and stuff like that. But other people's situations, they could be getting beat up. And that night could have been the last night for them, that they could have been, got, you know, enough from them and something happened. So don't close your eyes, please, and pass it on to anybody that you know. It happens in community that you would never think it happens to, you know. Not too long ago, actually, 3 girls just got saved that used to go to high school, normal life that you will think everything like that. But they got saved because people start opening their eyes and seeing that, you know what, those 2 girls are a little different than more different people. I mean, high school, everybody is different. I was different in high school. I didn't know how to communicate with people too much, but I was different. But you know when somebody's getting abused because you see the sadness in them, you see the way they are, the way they act, the way they're so guarded from everybody, even that person didn't do anything to them. They're guarded.
Although Hall was taken to protective custody in 2002, it took 4 years before her case went to trial and the perpetrators were sentenced to jail.
I got told things will be different. I will get beat up. My parents will be in trouble. I was really scared. I didn't even talk to the lawyers. I didn't talk to the police. I refused to talk to them, and I was part of the reason why the case didn't go along the way, because I refused to talk to them and tell them what really happened, you know, because I was still scared. It took me in 2004, and I got taken in 2002, finally, to talk to them.
SHYIMA is one of the lucky ones who was saved by someone who noticed that something wasn't right.
A neighbor right in front of us, and also we have another one that we thought she might get to, an older couple right behind us, and well, right next to us, and then another one across. The one across actually asked me, well, she didn't ask me because I didn't know what she was talking about, but I had the 2 twins with me, and they spoke English, and they translated that. She was asking me, well, who are you? I always see you here, and what are you doing here? And the twins know from their mom. They told her she's actually our stepsister or a sister, and she's still learning English. And that was it with her, but the older couple always looked at me and wondered, what are you doing? You know, what's going on here? So that's the dad. Actually, I got to see a picture of him in jail, and and there's the mom also, and they're in jail. And there's my favorite pictures. I don't know if that's mean to say, but they got arrested right in front of me, actually. It was
Justice.
yeah, exactly. And their kids got to see it, and I'm hoping that they learned something. Well, not all the kids got to see it, but most of the people, they saw them in handcuffs, and they hopefully learned that this is not right, because knowing that they were the way they were, this is what they live, and they have the money, they will do it because they don't want to do anything.
It's hard to understand, but this is something normal in Egypt. For SHYIMA's biological parents, she was in a better place living in America.
People were fighting it pretty good. They had my parents behind their back. My parents didn't agree with me. They didn't think I was abused. They told me I should go back to them and tell the people I was okay, in better life, because to my parents I was in better life, because they're struggling, they have nothing. They're like, you know, they see it, the USA, you know. But my parents believed in them. They didn't believe in me. So they had them in behind their back. They had their paper. They had their lawyers and everything else behind them.
After SHYIMA was taken into protective custody, she stayed with 2 foster families and learned how to speak English.
I had to. I wanted to know my rights, and I loved it that I know my rights and I can speak out for myself.
As many as 800,000 people are trafficked across international borders annually. The U.S. is a popular destination with as many as 18,000 people brought in each year and exploited for sex or labor.
Human trafficking takes place because there are people who are marginalized. They don't have options. They could be right here in Orange County and they find themselves with the sense of not being able to provide for their families. And so they may come from another country and they came here because they thought that there was going to be a job that would help them get out of their circumstances. And either through fraud or through threats, they continue to be in debt slavery or working for absolutely nothing because they're afraid of law enforcement, they're afraid of threats against their family, and they don't know that someone will help them. When we have heard stories from victims that are now survivors, the common thread is they say to us is, I didn't know someone would help me. The traffickers told me that if I went to the police would put me in jail and I would never see my family again. Or the traffickers told me that they would hurt my family. And so I couldn't do anything else. That's why human trafficking continues to exist right here in our own backyard. The other reason that human trafficking exists in our own backyard is because we have the demand for cheap labor, cheap services, for the demand for commercial sexual exploitation of women and children. There are people who want to use other people for their own purposes to make a profit. And as long as we allow people to make a profit from this, it will continue because traffickers are just businessmen who want to make money.
She was eventually adopted by Chuck and Jenny Hall and is doing so well you can't help but cheer her on.
Yeah, I got a letter not too long ago from him stating about the 3 girls that I was telling you about in high school. They got saved because of those people that called about them. They were in the lecture that we did, and they were there and they looked at what we talked about and how you can see other people and their different pain and how they're different to tell that they're abused or there's something wrong. And somebody called on them from it and they got saved, 3 of them from high school, so it was pretty good.
Well, I think when you're foster parents, you realize really quick what type of children you work best with yours. We tried the little children, tried the middle children, and ended up being teenagers fit best with our family. We have 4 of our own, 2 adopted. So she's our first adopted. But I think once you get to a point where you get a child and they just click from the beginning, she just fit in from day one. We knew from day one she was part of the family.
I'm actually right now going to a community college by my house. I'm an Explorers, where my department plays there. Actually the captain there too. And I'm studying to become a cop, a police officer, hopefully like an agent and helping human trafficking. So.
From a modern-day slave to a bright young lady with a future full of possibilities, SHYIMA Hall got the best of those who used to call her nothing. Human trafficking comes in so many different forms, and the reality of it is something we all need to wake up to. It's happening, and it's happening everywhere, even here in the land of the free. We hope that if you're aware of it, that you would do something to bring it to light. As Sandra Morgan put it, one case of human trafficking is one too many. Until next time, we hope you learn more, live more, and in all ways, stay in focus. Thanks for watching.